Good morning, ma'am. I mean, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Beta. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Beta. Happy Basant Panchami to you all.
Same to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So how you people are going to celebrate Basant Panchami today?
Ma'am, by eating,
By
ma'am, by eating halwa.
halwa. Okay, yellow halwa.
Good
Yes,
afternoon,
ma'am,
ma'am.
basil ka halwa.
Good afternoon, बेटा. हाँ, पर हमने तो सुना है लोग पीले चावल खाते हैं बसंत पंचमी में पीली
Yes,
खिचड़ी बनाई
ma'am.
जाती है.
Yes, ma'am. After halwa, we can have
Okay. Okay. Okay, very good. But then why do we celebrate this Basant Panchami? Do you know?
Yes, ma'am. Because it is the birthday of goddess Saraswati ji.
It is the birthday of goddess
Saraswati ji.
Okay. And why?
Ma'am, don't know.
बेटा ऐसा कहा जाता है कि जो बसंत पंचमी है इट इज सेलिब्रेटेड टू मार्क द फेस्टिवल ऑफ स्प्रिंग सीजन, राइट? राइट?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And on this day we wear yellow clothes, right?
And ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
also mustard flower opens and the spring starts.
Yes, yes. So during this Basant Panchami or like today, when those who get up early in the morning, they must have seen, you know, sun in the sky shining in the daytime, in the morning time, morning hours. But soon after, you know, I think somewhere around 9 or 30, it disappeared. Now there is no sun. I can't see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why is Saraswati ji worshipped on this day, Basant Panchami? What is the relevance?
Ma'am, because she is a symbol of peace and education.
Yes, she's known for the wealth of education. Like goddess Lakshmi is known for the wealth, goddess of wealth. Devi
Yes.
Saraswati, goddess Saraswati, she is known for the wealth of knowledge, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So let us start our class gaining more knowledge, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll start with we'll start with the new chapter of geography, right, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
See, today geography will start, and geography this is the last chapter for the syllabus, right?
Fine. Yes, ma'am.
This is the last chapter because that comparison of the industries, that chapter we are not taking up right now. Let us finish this human resources first, because this human resources chapter is a very important chapter. You will have this chapter in your 9th and 10th also, right? Few things related to it only. Okay, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. So if I ask you, if I say that the people are the major resource of a country, will you agree to it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Why? Why are they major resource?
Ma'am, when human being give an importance or attach some use to an something that becomes an resource, and that's why it is important that when human make something or use something.
Okay, so it is like you want to say that it is the human or the people of a country or people of a place, they give importance to the other resources, or they bring in the use of different resources which are available on the earth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Because see, all the resources on the earth that we have, they are known as useful because of the humans only. We only made use of the coal. We only made use of the iron ore. We only made use of different mineral resources which we have on the surface of the earth, right? We gave it the utility, right? So we gave them the utility. That is why we are the best of the resources on the top. And because we make other resources useful for us, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now,
Yes.
if I say this, that no country can develop without the human resources, will you agree to it?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, because human is an essential resource.
Hmm. They are a significant resource, because see, no country can prosper without the knowledge and wealth, and without the knowledge of its people. See, we as people, we only make use of everything that is available on the surface of the earth, right? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So when we bring significance to various resources that are available on the earth, we get more significant. We become more significant in the sense that for any country to grow or to prosper, it is very important to make the people of that country educated and healthy. If the people of a country are healthy and educated, then only they can contribute as a resource to the country. They will be an asset, right? But if they are not healthy, if they are not educated, then what will happen? They will become burden to the country, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand about asset and burden? You know what is asset? Something that is useful for us, precious to us, is asset, right?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And burden means something which is not at all fruitful for us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Right. That is why, see, we say that people of any country, they are the most significant resource of a country, because it is the people who make the country prosper by making use of different resources which are available on the surface of the earth, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, see, in this chapter, we are going to read about the distribution of population. First of all, we will read about the factors affecting the distribution of population. Then we will read about the density of population, which areas, which regions of the world are densely populated, which are moderately populated, and which are sparsely populated. Then how the population change takes place, which factors contribute in the change of the population. Then we will also read about how the population of a place increases or decreases because of the migration factors, right? And
Yes, ma'am.
how the internal migration, how the international migration affects the concentration of population, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we will be reading about the population composition, in which we'll be reading about the population pyramid, right? You have seen a pyramid, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can anyone show me on the screen how it looks by drawing it on the piece of paper?
But pyramid also have different like shapes, like square pyramid.
नहीं नहीं आप हमें जो जो अमूमन जो हम देखते हैं वो वाला पिरामिड हमें दिखाओ. Are you all drawing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Aditya, you have drawn? Okay, very good. Nice. Beautiful. Bhavya,
Yes, ma'am. Just one thing.
Alind has drawn? Very good, Aditya. Beautifully made. Very good.
Ma'am, can you see?
Yes, I can. Beautiful. Now see, others are taking so much time. Ayush, Ridhima, Anushka, Priya, Angel, Vidushi, Ansh, Ved. Yes, Bhavya. Beautiful. If you have to define pyramid, how will you define? Any one of you?
Ma'am, it
Ma'am,
has
a
three triangular walls and a square at the bottom.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes,
a three
Aditya.
triangular.
Aditya.
yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Ma'am, there will be four sides. Ma'am, four sides and a one rectangular
In
plane.
simplest of the language, if you have to explain what is a pyramid, how will you explain?
Ma'am, it is a three-dimensional solid figure.
It is a three-dimensional structure, right?
A pyramid is a three-dimensional
Yes,
structure which is made up of three flat faces and one square face.
Very good. Very good, Vidushi. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fine. Fine. Just like, see, just like this pyramid is there, we have the population pyramid, which actually, is a graphical illustration that shows the distribution of various age groups in a population. जैसे हम अगर पॉपुलेशन पिरामिड अगर हम देखें तो पॉपुलेशन पिरामिड आपका कुछ इस तरीके से होगा. लेट मी शो इट टू यू ऑन द स्क्रीन. It would be something like this. ठीक है, don't go on the lines. It would be something like this. ठीक है, ये ऐसा होगा. अब इसमें क्या होता है, दिस इज अ पॉपुलेशन पिरामिड फॉर एग्जाम्पल. हाँ, इसमें क्या होता है, ये जो दिस साइड इट टेल्स यू अबाउट द एज. ठीक है, एज ग्रुप जो है वो बताता है 0 to 5, 0 to 4, 4 to 8, है ना, सॉरी 5 to 8, देन 9 to 12, ठीक। और यहाँ पे आपका क्या बताता है वो, रेशो, द रेशो ऑफ मेल एंड फीमेल। जैसे हाउ मेनी बॉयज इन सो एंड सो एज ग्रुप, हाउ मेनी, हाँ बोलो बेटा।
I was asking like, ma'am, in a single pyramid, we will give ratio for boys and girls
Yes,
both.
yes. Because a line is drawn here. This way it is drawn in a population pyramid. This, take this as male, take this as female, right?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है, right? And for every country, see, it is not necessary that every country has this kind of, pyramid. Some of the countries, the base part is quite broad, but as it goes upwards, it becomes quite narrow. Some countries, they have, narrow, they are narrow at the bottom, and as they move up, they become broader. So every country, depending upon the population percentage, the number of people in the country, different age groups, different ratios, male, female, the population pyramid, the broadness, the narrowness, everything depends on the ratio. It is also called as the age sex pyramid, which age and what ratio is there, right? You know what is sex ratio, right, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Define. Any one of you give me definition.
Sex ratio is females per 1,000 males.
Number of females per 1,000 males, right? So this is how we define the pyramid as well, right? And looking at the, see, sometimes, visualization of, certain things makes it easy to understand. Instead of reading, looking at the picture or the, composition or the graphical representation makes it more easier to understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay, so we will be reading about all these aspects in this chapter. Now coming to the first part of the topic, that is the factors affecting the distribution of population. Now, before I tell you anything, can any one of you tell that what are the factors on which the population distribution depends? Ayush? Yes, Aditya?
Ma'am, employment.
Distribution of population. Distribution of population. The factors affecting the distribution of population. वो तो इकोनॉमिक और सोशल फैक्टर्स में आ जाएगा, एम्प्लॉयमेंट वाला पार्ट। पर फिजिकल फैक्टर्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं, जनरली वी कैटेगराइज डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ population into two parts. One is the physical factors and the other is the social or the economic factors. So when we talk about the physical factors, can you tell what are those physical factors? आप एक नॉर्मल सा एनालिसिस करो कि हमारे कंट्री में किन स्टेट्स में पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज्यादा है और किन में कम है।
Uttar Pradesh has the
Uttar Pradesh
Ma'am,
and Bihar.
Okay, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, right? Right?
और मैम मध्य प्रदेश।
Ma'am, Maharashtra.
हाँ, महाराष्ट्र,
West Bengal,
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है।
Punjab,
अगर हम,
Haryana.
हाँ, wait, if we confine to UP, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam also has good amount of good percentage of population. Now, if you analyze why population concentration is more in some of these states, what is the reason?
Fertile land.
ma'am because of agriculture.
Because of the agricultural practices, or the one that Aditya said, fertile land. See, the relief or the topography of any country, any place ensures the distribution of population. It, decides that what percentage of people will be located where. Like if you talk about the harsh conditions, like if you talk about the hills, the undulating terrains which are there, the uneven land that is there, hills, mountains. These are the places where generally population concentration is very less, right?
Yes,
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
why is it so? Because see, it is difficult to survive in those areas. See, things are not very easy over there. Construction cost is very high over there. Then getting the things, daily utility things is also very difficult, right? And the cost is quite high over there. Whatever goods that you buy on the plains in nominal rates, you have to give more money for the same articles there in the hills, right? Right?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now, this is because of several reasons. So, topography, we can say, or the various landforms that we have, they are one physical factor which decides the distribution of the population. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now, see, in the plains, if you compare in plains how the living conditions are congenial and how in the hills how it is difficult, can you compare, any one of you?
Ma'am, survival rate is high in the hilly area.
Survival rate
Ma'am,
is
sorry, sorry.
I'm
In
in
the
plain.
plains, in the
plains.
plains.
Yes, in the
And the
plains.
plane.
Yes, in the plains. And in the hills?
As the
Ma'am, it is
temperature
Survival
low.
rate
is
is low.
harsh, the
Ha,
agriculture production is low.
low over
So
there.
there is shortage of food.
Yes, very good. See, when we say plains, in plains, we all know that transportation is easy, right? Then construction is easy, movement is easy. But if you look at the hills or the high altitude areas or the uneven terrains that we have, there the transportation is also not easy, not cheap, it is costly. Then the movement is also very difficult. You know, every day going up and down is not very easy. Fine. Construction cost is also very high because whatever is to be constructed, the material has to be transported from the plains to the hills. So the transportation cost is added to the material that is brought, that is taken for the construction. So ultimately the construction cost becomes quite high when we construct things on hills, right? So when you compare, so it is very easy to survive, to live in the plains than on the hills, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Then if we talk about the river valley civilization, we all know that the early human beings, they started settling down near the river valleys, right? Now, what could be the possible reason for them settling down there?
For consumption of water and irrigation.
Ah, for the consumption of water and irrigation, or you can say the easy availability of water and the fertile land, right? Right? So
Yes,
most of the world's population is concentrated in the areas where the food availability is easy, plus the land is fertile and there is easy availability of water. Like you said, Maharashtra has more population. It is not because Maharashtra is a very fertile land. It is because of the concentration of industries over there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Then climate also plays very important role in deciding the percentage of population concentration. Can you tell why or how? Any one of you? Payal, Priya?
Can you
ma'am.
please
In
repeat?
people can live in ma'am uh, can't live in the cold region also, and can't live in more hot region. So they ma'am try to live in moderate regions.
Exactly. See, surviving in extremes of the climatic conditions is very difficult. If I tell you to pack your bags and start living there in Leh, will you be willing to permanently settle over there?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
because
No,
ma'am.
see,
ma'am.
going for 10-15 days is always a good thing. But if you are told to settle down there permanently, it becomes very difficult because Leh is considered as a cold desert, right? Leh Ladakh, because their
Yes,
extreme of cold climatic conditions are experienced, right? If in winters the temperature goes in -50, -60, right?
yes, ma'am.
Then if
Yes,
you
Yes.
ma'am.
are told if you are told to go to Rajasthan, western part of Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, and settle down over there, again you will say no, because there also the extreme of the climatic conditions are experienced, extreme hot weather. The temperature goes till 50 degrees over there in Rajasthan.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So again, living in extremes of climatic conditions is very difficult. That is why people generally prefer living in those areas where moderate climatic conditions are prevalent. Right? Right, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
climate also plays an important role in deciding the distribution of the population. Now coming to the soils, as someone said earlier in the class, I think Aditya only said no, because of the fertile soil. So soils, the area, the places where the soil is fertile, the land is fertile, there the concentration of the population, density of population would be high, and those places where it is less, the population concentration would be low, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Then availability of minerals also decide that whether the population concentration would be more or less. If you see the Deccan, the Chota Nagpur Plateau region, the Deccan Plateau region, these are those areas where minerals, availability of minerals is high. So the industries are set up in these areas only, right? So again, because industries are set up, so ultimately the population concentration becomes higher in these areas, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope these factors are clear and understood to all of you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Very,
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
very, very good. Let us do one thing. Let us read the initial parts. चलो एक और फैक्टर हम आपको एक्सप्लेन कर देते हैं, उसके बाद we will read from the book, right? Now talking about the economic and social factors, mineral resources, I have told you, where the concentration of industries would be more. Like if you see Rudrapur and all, Rudrapur is an industrial area, Gurugram, Delhi NCR, Noida,
Yes, ma'am.
Gurugram, these are the industrial areas. So here the concentration of population is more, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the concentration of industries. So wherever, see, for survival, we need money, we need shelter, we need food, we need clothing also. So these things are fulfilled if we are in a good job. So the industries that we have, the urbanization process that takes place, all these factors are the social and the economic factors which also decide the distribution of the population. Where the industries would be concentrated, population will be more. The areas which are developed areas, or those areas like Bangalore, if you see, it is again a highly populated area. Why? Because of the concentration of the IT industries over there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes the government policies also decide that which area where the population concentration will be more. The government, if relaxation is given by the government to ensure that a good amount of people are residing or living over a region for overall development of that area. So the government policies would be such that they will help the people to come and settle over there. So all these factors, they decide how the concentration of the population would be, or how the distribution of the population would be, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Now let us,
Yes, ma'am.
without wasting time, let us start with the reading part. Okay. So we'll start with Aditya. That blue box that we have, Aditya.
Ma'am, you will learn also, I have to read.
No, that you don't. Only the blue.
Chapter 10, Human Resources. Have
Yes.
you ever wondered why the countries of the world are at varying levels of development? The answer lies in the way they use their resources. The economic development of a country or a region depends on the development of its human resources. Do you agree to this? Have a class discussion on the topic by giving example from various countries. Human as a resource. Human beings engaged in useful activities are called human resources. They are the most important of all resources. All
Mhm.
materials available in our natural environment becomes resources only when human puts them to use or attach some value to them.
Mhm.
Human resources include the population as well as the physical and mental abilities of people like health, education, and skills.
Right.
Every human being is a potential resource. In order to utilize their abilities to the fullest, they should be provided with balanced and nutritious diet, health facilities, basic education, training of harness
Training to
various
harness.
skills,
Training to harness.
training to harness various skills, suitable technology to increase production and adequate employment opportunities.
Now, if you see, the central government has started this vaccination program. Now, what is the purpose of starting this vaccination program? So that the people are healthy, they don't suffer from ailments, especially the one pandemic that is, that has grasped us, all of us, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
and we all know about the basic education. We know about the right to education that was added to the fundamental rights of us in the constitution, so that every child who is 7 years of age gets the basic education, the elementary education that is required, that is given free of cost to all the students. That is why in most of the government schools, in all the government schools, I must say, the government is providing, midday meal, free uniform, free books to all of them, so that every child is educated, is literate, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Then see, and a good midday meal is provided to them, so that they get healthy diet. If they will have healthy diet, they will be having healthy body, healthy mind inside, right? If they will be given a proper vaccination program, if they are, given vaccinations on time, they will remain healthy throughout. And they will, when they grow up, after, they completing their education, taking the whatever education is required for whatever qualification they are going for, if they do that, what will happen? They will become an asset for the country, right? They will be healthy, they will be educated, literate, and they would be knowing that how to make the country prosper by utilizing the resources that are available, right? So this is how the humans are considered as one of the most important and significant resources for a country. I hope I am clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we have
Yes, ma'am.
Dushi reading now.
Yes, ma'am. Factors affecting distribution of population. The total world population is estimated at 7.4 billion. This population, however, is not evenly distributed over the world. Some places have a large concentration of people, while some are sparsely populated. The distribution of population over the world is influenced by various factors. They can be grouped as physical factors and economic and social factors.
Fine. And Ansh Patel.
Okay, ma'am. Physical factors. The physical factors include topography, climatic conditions, natural vegetation, soils, and availability of water. Topography. The flat, level lands of plains are favorable for the construction of roads, railways, canals, and buildings. Thus, they are best suited for agriculture, industries, and other economic activities. Therefore, most people prefer to live on plains. On the other hand, plateaus have comparatively less population because of their rough terrain. The rugged relief and inaccessibility of the mountains make them sparsely populated. Climatic conditions. People always prefer to live in regions of moderate climate and adequate rainfall. Extreme climatic conditions are not favorable for human habitation. This explains why the polar region, which are too cold, and the deserts, which are too hot and dry, supports very little population. Natural vegetation. Dense forests like those of the Amazon and the Congo Basin are inaccessible and therefore are largely uninhabited. Soils. Regions with fertile soils are best suited for agriculture and therefore the river valleys have always been densely river
Populated.
have always been densely populated. Good
Yes.
examples are the fertile valleys of the Ganga and Brahmaputra River in India, the Huanghe and Yangtze Kiang rivers in China, and the Nile River in Egypt.
Okay.
Availability of water.
Fine. Can we have Angel now reading? Angel.
Yes, ma'am.
Read beta.
Ma'am, from natural vegetation.
Availability of water.
Nine. Okay, ma'am. Water is essential for the survival of plants, animals, and humans. More settlements thus grow up near sources of fresh water like rivers and lakes. Therefore, the Great Lakes region in the USA and river valleys like those of Ganga and Mekong and the Rhine are densely populated.
Continue.
Economic and social factors. The economic and social factors include mineral resources, industries, transport facilities, urbanization, and government policies. Mineral resources. The availability of rich mineral resources attracts people to settle there. The gold mines of Kalgoorlie, Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie in Western Australia and the oil fields of Middle East are good examples of concentration of human settlements even in dry desert areas. Industries. Development of industries in a region provides employment opportunities and hence attracts people even from distant lands to settle there. Therefore, Therefore, the industrial regions are densely populated. The northeastern part of the USA and Western Europe are good examples. Transport facilities. A good transport network is essential for all sort of economic activities. Hence, regions like plains and coastal areas that have all connectivity are densely populated.
Good connectivity. Good.
Good connectivity are densely populated. Urbanization. Urban areas generally have better infrastructure than the rural areas. People from villages migrate to cities in search of jobs, better educational and medical facilities, and higher standard of living as well. Thus, the big cities of towns have very high density of population.
Okay. Do you know how is
Government
density of
policies.
beta wait? Do you know how is density of population defined?
People living in 1 square kilometer.
Square
Yes.
kilometers.
Very good. Number of people living in per square kilometer is defined as density of population. अगर हम आपसे पूछें कि यूपी की डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा है कि बिहार की डेंसिटी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा है, आप किसकी बताओगे?
Bihar.
Why not
Bihar.
UP? Why not UP?
Ma'am, because
हाँ.
Ma'am, Bihar is smaller in size.
Yes, very good. Because of the size, though UP is highly populated, but Bihar has high density of population because the size of the state is smaller in comparison to UP, right? Right?
yes.
The area that.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Chalo. Can we have Anushka Sharma reading now?
Yes, ma'am.